Hello, I am your expert technical instructor. Continuing our exploration of package management, this highly focused session delves into how to critically design and implement a versioning strategy specifically for your pipeline artifacts. When designing a package management strategy, it is critically important to differentiate between long-term shared code libraries like NuGet or NPM packages and transient pipeline artifacts. A pipeline artifact represents the immediate, compiled output of a continuous integration CI build process. It is the raw payload, the compiled binaries, the minified JavaScript, or the processed ARM templates that must be transported from the compilation stage into the subsequent deployment stages. Think of pipeline artifacts as the internal transit mechanism of your CI/CD architecture. While a package feed is designed to host generic libraries for consumption by dozens of different development teams, a pipeline artifact is highly specific. It is the exact, immutable snapshot of an application at a specific git commit hash, intended to be deployed directly to staging and production servers. Therefore, designing a rigorous versioning strategy for these artifacts is absolutely essential. If artifacts are not properly versioned and tracked, operations teams completely lose the ability to verify which exact iteration of the source code is currently running in a live production environment, destroying any hope of forensic traceability. This core YAML pipeline step takes the compiled binaries located in the release folder and securely publishes them to the Azure DevOps server as a tracked pipeline artifact named web app drop. The artifact transit lifecycle. Raw source code is compiled into a formal pipeline artifact, which acts as the secure bridge payload feeding directly into the CD release pipeline for production deployment. A cornerstone of DevOps architecture is the absolute necessity of immutable artifacts, governed by the build once, deploy many principle. When designing a versioning strategy, you must ensure that your CI pipeline compiles the source code exactly once to generate a single, definitively versioned pipeline artifact. That exact same artifact must then be promoted sequentially through your dev, QA, staging, and production environments. Under no circumstances should you recompile the source code for different environments. If you recompile, you risk injecting subtle configuration drift, meaning the binary tested in QA is mathematically different from the binary deployed to production. By strictly versioning a single, immutable artifact, you guarantee absolute consistency. This practice is also heavily scrutinized during enterprise security audits. Compliance officers demand complete traceability. They must be able to look at a versioned artifact running in production and trace it seamlessly backward through the pipeline directly to the exact git commit, proving unequivocally that the deployed code successfully passed all mandated security and quality gates without unauthorized tampering. This YAML snippet demonstrates a CD release pipeline explicitly declaring a dependency on a previously compiled CI pipeline artifact, enforcing the build once, deploy many methodology. The immutable deployment strategy. A single, definitively versioned CI artifact is deployed sequentially across all environments. Recompiling per environment is strictly prohibited to prevent configuration drift. To implement this versioning strategy practically within Azure pipelines, engineers must manipulate the core build run name, often referred to as the build number. By default, Azure DevOps assigns an arbitrary integer to pipeline runs, which provides zero contextual value to an operations engineer. Instead, you must design a customized string utilizing dynamic variable substitution. A highly effective enterprise pattern involves concatenating the semantic version of the application with the current date and a daily revision increment. By explicitly setting the pipeline name property to format like 1.2.0 date, YYYY, MMDD, revvar, the resulting pipeline artifact is inherently human readable. When an engineer views the artifact repository, they instantly know that artifact 1.2.0-20260524.3 represents the third compilation of the 1.2.0 release candidate executed on May 24, 2026. This intelligent naming convention drastically simplifies triage during an active operational incident, allowing transformation teams to rapidly identify and select the correct historical artifact version required to execute an emergency production rollback. This YAML configuration overrides the default pipeline name, utilizing dynamic system variables to forge a highly detailed, traceable artifact version string encompassing project, branch, date, and revision. The dynamic naming process. The build engine consumes the defined semantic version, current system date, and revision count to synthesize a comprehensive, dynamic artifact version string. An elite versioning strategy extends beyond the artifact's name. It encompasses comprehensive metadata linking. Azure Pipelines excels at establishing automatic traceability. When a specific version of a pipeline artifact is generated, Azure DevOps permanently embeds the exact git commit hash the SHA-1 string into the artifact's metadata. Furthermore, if the pipeline was triggered by a pull request, the system inherently traces backward to identify all Azure Board's work items or GitHub issues that were resolved by the incorporated commits. This creates a deeply interconnected graph of specific data. When the versioned artifact is eventually pulled into a release pipeline for deployment, this embedded metadata is utilized to automatically generate highly detailed, accurate release notes. Operations teams can review the artifact payload and see precisely which features were developed and which bugs were remediated since the previous artifact version was deployed. This automated traceability is the ultimate mechanism for proving to stakeholders and auditors that the software delivery lifecycle is completely transparent and rigidly controlled. This Azure CLI command interrogates the pipeline run history, instantly recovering the specific cryptographic git commit hash that mathematically corresponds to the generated artifact version. The metadata traceability graph, the artifact version acts as an anchor, inheriting the git commit hash and linked Azure Boards items, which subsequently feed the automated release notes generator. Designing an artifact versioning strategy inherently necessitates confronting the realities of cloud storage constraints and costs. If your enterprise executes dozens of CI pipelines daily, storing every single generated pipeline artifact indefinitely will rapidly consume vast amounts of storage capacity. Therefore, administrators must implement aggressive, automated retention policies. Azure DevOps allows you to define baseline rules. For instance, automatically deleting undeployed artifacts after 30 days. However, you must carefully configure exceptions for critical versions. When an artifact version is actively deployed to a long-lived environment, such as production, the release pipeline can automatically acquire a retention lease on that specific artifact. This lease mathematically overrides the default deletion policies, ensuring that the exact binaries running in production are permanently preserved. This intricate balance of purging stale development builds, while perpetually preserving highly specific release data, ensures that you maintain absolute audit compliance without incurring unnecessary and exorbitant cloud storage expenditures. This critical administrative command forcefully applies an overriding retention lease to a specific pipeline run, explicitly preventing its associated artifacts from being swept by automated garbage collection. The retention logic flow, generated artifacts are evaluated. If not deployed to production, they are aggressively purged after 30 days. Production artifacts receive leases for permanent audit preservation. As transformation teams mature into building massive, distributed microservice architectures, they must navigate cross-repository artifact strategies. In a multi-repo environment, a deployment might require combining an artifact version generated by the back-end API pipeline with a completely separate artifact version generated by the front-end React pipeline. Azure Pipelines handles this elegantly through pipeline resource declarations. A single deployment YAML file can be configured to consume multiple upstream artifact sources simultaneously. Furthermore, you can design resource triggers so that your deployment pipeline automatically executes only when a new, specific version of an upstream artifact is published. By rigorously versioning these fragmented artifacts, the deployment orchestrator can accurately assemble the final, cohesive application state. The versioning strategy acts as the connective tissue, ensuring that incompatible microservice builds are never mistakenly deployed side by side, thereby preserving the operational stability of the broader software ecosystem. This YAML resource block configures the deployment pipeline to automatically trigger and download the newest artifact payload, specifically whenever the upstream API build pipeline completes a run on the main branch. The multi-artifact assembly model, distinct, highly versioned artifacts from independent front-end and back-end pipelines, converge at the deployment orchestrator to construct a unified staging environment. To conclude, designing and implementing a robust versioning strategy for pipeline artifacts is the absolute backbone of reliable continuous delivery. By ensuring artifacts are immutable, leveraging dynamic, human-readable naming conventions, maintaining absolute traceability back to source commits, and implementing intelligent retention leases, your organization secures its software supply chain. This rigor guarantees profound operational confidence during high-stakes production deployments. Please be sure to like this training video, subscribe to our channel, and visit quicktechie.com for unparalleled premium certification prep. At quicktechie.com, you will gain exclusive access to massive Q&A banks, high-definition ebooks, comprehensive audiobooks, interactive labs, and expert-led interview guides specifically built to ensure you master AZ-400 enterprise architectures. Thank you for your immense dedication to learning today, and I look forward to exploring the design of quality and release gates with you in our very next module. This incredibly common YAML command instructs the deployment job to securely download the exact, mathematically verified artifact version that was passed dynamically from the upstream CI compilation stage. The formula for operational success: dynamic naming creates immutable artifacts backed by profound metadata traceability, ultimately culminating in unshakable deployment confidence across the enterprise.
Welcome to quicktechie.com. So just type in quicktechie.com here. Then you can go through the material which is provided by Quicktechie. So we have first of all video courses which you can go here and you can find the various video courses across the technologies as well as finance domain. So if you see in Microsoft, we have 8 programs currently running. Next, you can go through the ebooks available. So all the ebooks which are in PDF format today, and you can download this. So let me go through Microsoft certification ebooks. You can click on any of this and you can see this is the PDF available for you to download. So these are the premium ebook mostly available on quicktechie.com platform only. Now the second part is exam simulator. As we primarily focus on the all technology companies and finance domain certification preparation material, so this is company wide listed here and you can go through this. So let me go through the Microsoft one again. You can see this is our all Microsoft related certification. AB 730 exam, if you open it, so you can see here this, and all the practice papers are available here. Today we have a 5 practice paper. So click on the first practice paper, it would load the questions. You can answer this question. This is way you can answer it and you can move to the next question. Now the third material we wanted to highlight is an audiobook. So we started recently with the audiobooks as well, which you can listen on the go, and various technology wise ebooks are available. And at the last, this is our alumni. These people who are subscribing to our courses and this platform, they are all listed here. And at the end, I wanted to tell you, if you find any course or training or certification preparation material which you want to get us prepare for yourself, please put on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, on Udemy, or on this platform itself, quicktechie.com, then please put the comment, or you can even send an email to using this contact us options here. You can directly do the WhatsApp message. You can call us on this numbers as well.